good morning. Today we are going to start with the new chapter of your syllabus. That is the third chapter of your syllabus, and the name of the chapter is Animal Fiber. Okay. Now in this chapter we are going to see the details of fibers, how we are going to get fibers from different plants or different animals. But before that, my dear students, let us particularly think on something. Okay, see, in your wardrobe there are many types of clothes, yes or no? But have you all ever thought that how these clothes are made? Yes or no? So these cloths basically are made with the fibers. Okay, and hence I will tell you that the fibers are of different they are different of types, and by these different types of fibers there can be the formation of cloths. Okay, so why the clothing is needed? You all know that the clothing is a basic need of the human being, yes or no? And the clothes are going to be very important just because clothes are going to save you. They are going to protect you from the dust particles, from the insect bites, and many a time, of course, we also know that the clothes are important to protect us against any other sort of climates. Okay, and definitely I can tell you on this point that the clothes which you are going to use, those are dependent on the climate where you live. Understanding? Or I will tell you that the fabric you are going to wear, which is always going to depend on the climate. Okay, so for that let us take some examples. In summer, how the fabric is going to be, means which kind of clothing you will use in summer. So my dear students, in summer you are going to use the thin, lightweight and light colored fabric, okay, light colored clothing which has been made up of the cotton. So we all know that in summer the cotton clothing is used. Understanding? Now why the cotton clothing is used in summer? Is there any specific reason for this? So yes, there is a specific reason behind that, because the cotton is going to allow the movement of air. Okay, that movement of air is going to give the feeling of coolness, because it is a summer, right? So in summer there will be a maximum temperature surrounding, and that is why if you are feeling cool, then it is definitely the good thing. And my dear students, here the cotton is going to allow the movement of air, and because of that one can feel cool. Understanding? And that is why cotton is used in summer. Second reason behind that is the cotton is going to absorb sweat very easily in summer, because in summer we all know your body is going to sweat much. So the cotton will absorb the sweat very easily, and that is why the cotton is used. Now one more point about this, why you are going to use the light colored clothing. Okay, why light colored clothing? Because the light colors are going to absorb the less heat. Understanding? And definitely if it is going to absorb the less heat, then that person will feel cool. And why there is a need of feeling cool? Because it is the summer, because at surrounding there is a high temperature, so body should remain cool comparatively, yes or no? And that is why we are going to use the cotton which is going to be light colored, and because of that light color, the cotton will now absorb a very less amount of heat, which will give the coolness. Alright, so with this we are actually ending with which kind of clothing is used in the summer. Okay, now let us move on to the next example, that in winter what kind of clothing you all will use. Okay, so my dear temperature in surrounding? Yes or no? There is already the coolness in the environment. So you should actually feel warm, and that is why you are going to use the thick clothing. Yes? You are also going to use the dark colored woolen material. Okay? Now why dark color? Now exactly the reason is opposite over here. Light color absorbs less heat, and the dark color is going to absorb more and more heat, my dear students. And as dark color absorbs more heat, then what will happen? You are going to actually feel warm. Yes or no? And that is the need in winter. That in winter you should feel warm. And if that dark color is absorbing more heat, then you are going to actually feel warm. Okay. So next is definitely this wool is going to trap the body heat and it keeps us warm. Now what do you mean by that? See, the wool is going to allow the heat which is there in our body be there in our body only. Okay, the wool will not allow the body heat to go out. Okay, wool will actually trap the body heat and it will keep the body heat inside only, so that you are going to feel warm. So whatever clothing, whatever fiber, whatever fabric material we all are going to use, that are actually dependent on the climate, that are actually dependent on the surrounding temperature and overall conditions. Alright, now we are hence here ending with the concept that in which climate you will use which particular fabric. Alright, so I will repeat the basic concept again, that in summer you will use cotton and in winter you are going to use the woolen clothing. Okay, fine. Now we are going to move towards the concept of fabric and fiber. Okay, now definitely you might have learned this chapter before in your 6th grade. Okay, there all the fiber and fabric, what exactly it is, it has been explained very well. So here in this chapter also we have a very small concept about it, that what exactly the fabric and fiber is. Alright, now let me tell you what exactly it is. See, fibers are going to be actually, we will get the fibers either from the plants or from animals, that we are going to see afterwards. Okay, so these fibers what we have got from animals or plant, these fibers are spun together. Okay, they are spun together. After this, there will be a formation of yarn. What will be formed after that? There will be a formation of yarn. And what do you mean by yarn? Yarn is nothing but simply the thread. What is it? It is simply thread. So what we have learned till now, there will be the fibers. Fibers we are going to get from either animals or plants. Okay, you are going to spun the fibers together, you will get yarn. Yarn is nothing but the thread. Okay, now this yarn is going to be, you are going to weave or knit that particular yarn. Fine. So yarn is going to undergo the weaving or knitting, that is going to give you the final fabric. What it is going to give you? It is going to give you the final fabric. Understanding? So that is all about the concept of how fabric is going to be made. So what you have to understand? You have to understand is the yarn is made up of fiber and the fabric is made up of yarn. Understanding my concept? The yarn is made up of fiber and the fabric is made up of yarn. Alright, we are going to learn how you all are going to get the fiber. Okay, so you all are going to get the fiber either naturally or the fibers can be made, by man. Means the fibers can be man-made also. So basically the fibers are natural fibers or they can be the synthetic fibers. Okay, they can be natural or they can be synthetic. So natural fibers, if we are talking about the natural fibers, we all get natural fibers from the animal animals, or we are going to get the natural fibers from plants. Okay, from whom we are going to get natural fibers? From animals or from plants. Alright, now the example of the natural fibers are nothing but the silk and the wool. Okay, it is nothing but the silk and the wool. Okay, now we are going to get the silk from silkworm. Okay, we will get the silk from silkworm, and we are going to learn about the silkworm in details in the same chapter, so don't worry. Okay, for time being you just understand we are going to get the silk from silkworm. Okay, and we are going to get the wool from sheep. Alright, now let us move on to the plants. Okay, now in plants there is going to be the examples of fibers such as cotton and jute. Okay, cotton and jute. Fine. So we are going to get a cotton from cotton plant. We all know that, you might have learned it in previous standard also. Okay, so these are the examples of basically the natural fibers. Okay, now let us move on to the synthetic fibers. Okay, see, you are going to get the synthetic fibers by some chemical treatments. Means, as I said, the synthetic fibers are totally man-made fibers. They are not natural, they are man-made. Okay, and they are prepared by chemicals. Okay, by using several chemicals there can be the preparation of the synthetic fibers. Understanding? Now the examples of synthetic fibers are nothing but nylon, okay, then polyester, acrylic and rayon. Okay, I will repeat again. I said nylon, polyester, acrylic and rayon. These are the examples of the synthetic fibers which are totally man-made. Okay, now my dear students, here we are ending with the types of fibers and how we are going to get that fibers. Okay, now still we are going to see some important concept after this. Okay, so let us see first the definition of fabric before moving forward. Okay, so fabric is nothing but the material which is used to make clothing. Okay, I will repeat again. I said the material which is used to make clothing is called the fabric. Okay, now we are going to move towards the concept of wool. Okay, now we have seen that the wool can be collected. I mean, we get the wool naturally, yes or no? We are going to get the wool from ships. Okay, so now we are going to see some of the details of the wool. Okay, see, now wool, we are going to get the wool from the fleece of sheep. Okay, we are going to get the wool from the fleece of sheep. Now what is the meaning of the word fleece? Okay, you can write it down. Fleece is nothing but the hairs of sheep. Okay, fleece is nothing but what? The hairs of sheep. So we are going to get wool from the fleece of sheep, means from the hairs of sheep. Okay, the wool is going to be instead of sheeps, the wool can be, we can get the wool also from the hair of goats, camels and rabbits also. Okay, in some of the coming lectures I will show you the pictures of these animals. Okay, how exactly they look and why they are used for collecting their hairs, that I will show you the pictures, don't worry. Okay, so for time being you just understand that the wool can also be derived from the hairs of the goats, camels or rabbits. Okay, now definitely there must be the reason that why we are making the clothes from wool. Yes or no? There must be some reasons behind it. So let us now move on to the reasons why we are going to make the clothes from the wool. Okay, first reason of that is wool is basically very soft and it is going to provide the warmth. Yes, see that we have already learned that wool, we are going to use wool in definitely the winter season. So in that season we need warmth and the wool is going to be soft and it is going to provide you warmth, and that is why you are going to use the the preparation of clothes. Fine. Now the second point is on the clothes made up of wool, there are some air spaces, okay, which are going to create the insulating barriers. Now what do you mean by that? Have you all ever seen your sweater? Okay, sweater is made up of wool. Yes or no? You have seen your sweater. If you have seen the sweater, there is some gaps on the sweater. Okay, sweater, you will not see the sweater, cloth as, continue thing. You will observe some, small gaps in that particular sweater. So that is nothing but the air spaces. What is it? It is air spaces. Okay, so these air spaces, they are going to actually act as insulating barrier. Okay, what they will act as? They will act as insulating barrier. Now what is the meaning of insulating barrier? Insulating barrier means they are not going to allow the heat to go out of your body. Because again the same reason, we are using this particular wool clothing in the winter. So we need the heat, we need the warmth. So your body needs more warmth, and that is why these clothing will not allow the heat to go out. It will actually keep the heat inside, and that is why you will feel basically warm. Okay. And hence the wool is basically very important for the preparation of such clothing. Alright, so with this we are ending with the second point also. And the third and very important point is basically the wool is elastic in nature, okay, and it can be easily dyed. Okay, you can dye it, means you can apply any sort of color on that. Okay, dyeing of clothes is nothing but you are going to apply some chemical colors. Okay, you can apply even some natural colors also to this clothing. Okay, you of course might have observed there are many different colors of your sweaters, yes or no, and observe that many a times they will be with the dark colors. Okay, so these dark colors or these particular any sort of colors, these are going to be applied on this clothing, on this wool, and the wool is easily going to be dyed. It is going to be easily, applied by the color. Fine, and that is why the wool is very important something from which we can actually make the fabric. Okay, from which we can actually make the clothes. Alright, so that is all about why the wool is used for the preparation of clothes or fabric. Okay, now we are going to move towards the rearing of sheep. Okay, now what is the meaning of rearing of sheep? See, rearing of sheep is nothing but growing of sheep. Okay, the sheeps are basically grown in different countries around the world. Okay, and these are grown in very different sort of climatic conditions. For example, it can be the dry conditions, low rainfall conditions. Okay, in different sort of climatic conditions, the sheep can be grown. Okay, and these sheep are grown or these sheep are reared in barns. Okay, they are reared where? They are reared in barns. What are barns? Barns are nothing but, simply I can tell you, they are the houses which has been constructed for these ships. Okay, and in that small houses there is going to be the rearing of the ships, or there is going to be the growing of the ships. Understanding? So that is what about the rearing of sheep. One more point I would like to add: if the barns are not there, the sheep also can be grown on the large open area. Okay, it is not necessary that always the barns only should be there. If the barns are not there, it can be grown on the large open area also. Understanding? So that is all about the concept of like sheep. Fine, rearing of sheep. Fine, I will again particularly repeat the point I said. It is rare in different sort of climatic conditions, in the dry conditions or even the low rainfall conditions as well. They are grown in barns or they also can be grown in large open area, and barns are nothing but the constructed houses for the sheep rearing or sheep growing. Alright, now we are going to see the third important point, that about the quality of wool. Okay, definitely we are getting the wool from the fleece. Okay, we are getting the wool from fleece, means we are getting the wool from the hairs of sheep. So definitely the quality of sheep is the quality of particularly the wool is dependent on the quality of hairs. Okay, so it is dependent on basically the thickness of hair, the length of the hair, the sheen of the hair, strength and color of the hair. Okay, it is dependent on all these particular things. Understanding? So hence I said that the quality of wool is ultimately dependent on the quality of hair of that particular sheep. And my dear students, the quality of hair is going to be changing according to the sheep to sheep. Okay, means if the species of sheep is changing, there are different variety of sheep, yes or no. So if the sheep is changing, then definitely the quality of the hair of that sheep will change, and as the hair quality will change, the quality of wool also going to be changed. Understanding? So with this we are ending with the concept of basically the rearing of sheep. Fine. Now we will move on to the next concept. Okay, children, before moving towards the next topic, I would like to tell you the meaning of the word sheen. Okay, we have learned that, right? The sheen of the hair of sheep is going to be very important point for determination of quality of final wool. Okay, so what exactly the sheen is? Sheen is nothing but the shining of hair. Okay, if you have observed the wool at your home of any kind of cloth which has been made up of wool, it is going to have some particular shining. Okay, so that shining means the quality of that wool is dependent on basically the shining of hair of that particular sheep. Okay, that is all about the meaning of the hard word. Let us now move on to the next concept of your chapter. It is all about selective breeding. Understand, it is a very important concept. Now what exactly the selective breeding is? Okay, now breeding is nothing but two particular animals, two sheep. Here we are talking about sheep, so I will talk about sheep only. Okay, so here breeding is nothing but we are selecting two sheep. One is a male and second is female, means one is boy and second is a girl. Okay, male and female we are selecting, and there is going to be the breeding in them so that they will produce or they will give birth to the child sheep. Understanding? That is what is the simple meaning of breeding is. Okay, so what exactly the selective breeding is? See, selective breeding is a concept or it is a method, okay, that we are using. The India exactly uses this particular method to get the plant or animals with desired characteristics. Means to get a plant or animals with specific some characteristic. That is what is called as the selective breeding. Okay, for example, one sheep is having one character and second sheep is having the second character. Okay, so the child which has been born by those sheep, that child will have the character of both the sheep. Okay, and that will be called as basically the selective breeding. We will learn the example also, don't worry. So in our case, what we are going to do, we are going to take two sheep as I told you, okay, with a specific character. Now I can choice that character. Whatever character I want, I am going to choice the sheep of that character only. Okay, so I am going to use the two sheep. I am going to take the two sheep with the specific character, and they are going to give nothing but the child ships. Okay, they are going to give a birth to offsprings. They are going to give a birth to child ship. Yes or no? That is what is the nothing but the meaning of the word offsprings. Okay, means babies. Okay, in simple term. Now let us move on to the example. See, here I am taking the ship 1. Okay, here I am taking ship 2. And of course they are going to be male and female. Fine. So I can give you the examples such as the ship 1 is having the coarse longer hair. What is the meaning of the term coarse? Coarse is nothing but harsh. It is rough. Okay. So the ship 1 is having the hair which is coarse, which is harsh, rough. But there are longer hairs. Okay. The ship 1 have longer hairs but harsh hairs. But the ship 2, okay, it is going to have a shorter hair, okay, and the soft hair. Fine. So there will be breeding in between both of them, and the baby which is going to take a birth from those, that baby will have the long hair, okay, and soft hair. Understanding? So the baby is having character of both. Yes or no? So see the baby which is going to be there, it is going to have a long and soft hair. Understanding? So that is what is called as the meaning of the selective breeding, where you will take the two ships of some particular character, okay, and you are going to breed them so that they will give the birth to the offsprings, to the child, to the baby ships which are going to be of the desired character, of selected character. Understanding? That is all about the concept of selective breeding, my dear students. Okay. Now do you know in India where there is going to be the breeding of the ships? Okay. So let me tell you, it is done in Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Gujarat, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Maharashtra. It is going to be done in Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and also Uttarakhand. Okay, so all over there is going to be actually the rearing of the ships and the breeding of the ships. Okay. Now do you know the wool which has been produced in India, that is basically it is harsh. Okay, it is not that soft, it is harsh, it is coarse, and that is why it has been used to manufacture the hand knitted carpets. Okay, I'll give you this thing in writing. See what we have seen. See, we have seen that the wool which has been manufactured, okay, bulk of wool which has been manufactured in India, okay, how it is? It is basically coarse, means it is basically harsh, fine, harsh, or it is rough. So for what purpose you are going to use it? It is used for manufacturing the hand knitted carpets. Okay. It is used for manufacturing hand knitted carpets. Understanding the concept, this is all about the concept of the rearing of ships and all about the selective breeding of ships. So my dear students, in this lecture we have seen many important concepts. I would give you a suggestion that go through the video again and again to understand each and every term. Okay, so what we have seen, let us take a small recap. We have started the chapter with the how in different sort of climates different sort of clothing is going to be used, what exactly the fibers and the fabrics are, we have learned. Okay, then we have learned that we are going to get the fibers from the animals and plants which are natural one, and we are going to get the fibers basically by chemical means also, which are synthetic fibers which has been made by the using chemicals. Those are not natural at all. Okay, then we have seen about why wool is important for making the clothes. We have seen some of the characters of that. We have seen what exactly the selective breeding is, and we have seen in India where exactly the rearing of ships are done. And wool which has been manufactured in India, that wool we are going to use for preparation or manufacturing of the hand knitted carpets. Okay, so in next lecture we are going to see the variety of ships. There is one table in your textbook. I will be explaining that table, but with that I will be surely showing you some images as well. So let us meet in next lecture with again some interesting facts. So till that, my dear students, you all be there at your home. You all be be safe at your home, and you all must keep learning.